Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night from the African MSME Collective Hot Seat. My name is Kyesubire Greigg, and you are absolutely welcome. This is a show for MSME leaders and any leader really who wants to get into the space to help you unpack and understand what you need to do to start, set up, stabilize, scale, and be sustainably successful. The Growth Edge is one of our signature programs. We do have 3 shows as the Africa MSME Collective, but this is the Growth Edge. And what we do in this space is we make room for you to learn, room for you to become more, because it is a space where our focus is primarily on helping you set up, stabilize, scale, and be sustainably successful. So karibu sana, which means welcome. Grab a cup of tea as you listen, sit, and be with us in the conversation. As always, this conversation is with my very hilarious, absolutely hilarious co-founder of the African MSME Collective, one Joe Mukoko. There is none like this guy. He's from a village called Shitwitwi. How do you even call a village that? But anyway. And he is one of many who have built businesses in this country and are influencing businesses across the continent. And the reason we have these conversations is because we love business. Joe, any interesting stories about your week? What interesting business did you interact with?
Kyesubire, you've introduced me and the show is over. So I think we just call it quits and go. I'll look for a vehicle to take me to Shinamonyuli and Shitwitwi. Thank you. As always, you're generous with your words and the introduction. This week, I was dealing with a business that does cereals and nuts. The gentleman has never collected data, whichever you choose to go with. For the sake of this show, I will use data. He has never collected data from his clients. He collected data using physical forms, just 5 questions. He was shocked by the amount of information that came from his clients, and it has opened his eyes to what can he do better. Just from cereals and grains. Of course, there are those who are negative in their feedback, and he made me laugh because he said, one of the people said, it's just that I don't have an option. I should not be buying from you. I asked me, why did I even give this guy that feedback form, you know? And I told him, what is your why? Look at your why and keep on serving the clients. You will always have positive and negative reviews. But it was hilarious. You know, he said, this person went on. And I asked, did he buy? He said, you know the most interesting thing? He bought and he came back after 3 days and bought again. And after 3 days, still reminded me, it's just that he doesn't have an option. I told him, focus on what you need to do and keep on moving. I tell you, this space is always interesting. No day is the same. That was interesting.
Very true. I'd like to hear why that guy feels he's got no other option, but that's digressing, so we won't go that way.
Well, I will have an answer for you next week. I asked him to dig deeper and find out what his underlying issues are.
That's important, because you find the root and you deal with the root. Exactly. And the problem is solved.
Yes. The answer is always in the question. The answer is in the question.
Answer is always in the question.
Yes. There's even a book to that effect. I need to look for that book, you read it. But don't ask me questions. I just want you to read so that you can ask yourself questions.
The answer is always in the question. That is the perfect segue into our conversation today.
Now, why did I give you that?
You have to give me the groundwork. Then I can turn it into a story. That's our agreement.
Okay.
So today we're talking about the art of delegation, and it is an art because we are all told, oh, delegate, delegate, delegate. But from where we sit, Joe, what does delegation mean? Simple. I don't want long dictionary definitions. I don't want things that don't make sense. What's the simple definition for delegation?
Simplest form of delegation, the way I would explain it to my kindergarten grandchildren and nephews and nieces. Delegation is the act of assigning a responsibility to another person. I know when I say grandfather, people are looking at me and ranting, are you a grandfather? Yes. My sisters have children and the children have children. So I'm forcing myself to be a grandfather. So I am explaining it into a way that little Helena can be able to understand. The act of transferring or assigning responsibility to another person. Simple.
And in reality, you're not forcing to be a grandfather. If you look at African culture, your siblings' children are your children. So your children have children.
Yes.
So you're a grandfather. Don't even try and bother defending that state. And I think it's a beautiful thing to have. So if it is assigning responsibility to, you called her Helena?
Yes.
It is assigning responsibility. Why do we struggle with it? What are the factors?
Let me drink water.
Why are you drinking water in the middle?
I have come back. We don't live in silos. We don't operate in silos. Yet at times we behave as if we are just alone. But for you to produce the results that you need to produce, you cannot work alone. That supplier, the accountant, the digital marketing person, they all play a part in your success as an SME owner. One of the things that happens is we lack trust in those that we are supposed to delegate to. And the lack of trust could be historical. That at one time you assigned tasks and the results were disastrous. We all have stories. I delegated, the results were disastrous. So stemming from our background, stemming from our history, we could have had instances where things went wrong. So you're not so sure whether it will work again or not. Like, is it possible? Can I? Should I? That's one, lack of trust.
So wait, let me interject something. So what you're saying is that we're coming back. It's a response to bad relationships.
I'm wondering what you mean by bad relationships.
With staff. So I had a team member I delegated to, they didn't deliver. I had a supplier that I gave work and they didn't deliver. I had a client I asked for payment and they didn't deliver. So then I assigned somebody the task of following up money from Joe, and Joe took him round and round and round and he didn't deliver. So then now I no longer believe that anybody can do that particular task other than me.
Very well put. And you see, it's historical.
Yes.
Then secondly is fear of losing control. There are times you find as SME owners, we are not so sure if we shall still have our businesses when we delegate. Sometimes the reasons are well justified. There have been instances where SME owners delegated to their team members, and team members ended up either going to start similar businesses or cutting you off completely. You have no access to the customer. That has happened. So SME owners fear losing control. Then capacity. You know, when you talk about capacity building, capacity. People ask, what capacity is this? Is it for a bucket? Is it for a ship? What capacity? If we do not have proper processes in place, that delegation might fail or might succeed by sheer luck. But in most circumstances where processes are not in place, delegation fails. Then guidance. Guidance. We always laugh with you about this, that SME owners, we have our plans, our ideas, our processes, and everything in our heads. And then we call our teams and tell them, perform. Perform. You see, you have not told them how you want them to perform. But I'm thinking, I need to move this from point A to B. You moved it in your head. And then you did not show your team how you want it moved. So translating what is in your thoughts, your ideas into paper in a way that your team can follow it. So processes and guidance. In short, no working system for you as an SME owner. Then also just not identifying what needs to be delegated and what doesn't need to be delegated. Not everything can be delegated. And some important things or tasks in the business also need to be delegated. Let's assume you are a baker. I know you're a baker. I'm not taking you back there. Let's assume you're running a bakery. And it's a niche bakery. Now, because you cannot move from there to go and deliver, you will need people. You can imagine the disaster that will be if you've woken up at 5 a.m., you've mixed everything that goes into making the cakes and the breads, you've mixed. You do not ask for assistance, or if your assistants come, you tell them, sit there. And then you finish. You put them in the oven, the product has come out. The product needs to get to other people.
Yes.
Now, you see, those are already events occurring in your business that you need support. So it's important for us to identify. So sometimes we don't identify everything that is needed. Then end to end, our user experience, our client user experience is not good.
Yeah.
By evening, you are finished. And then you're saying, you'll even remove your specs. I don't know why when people are tired, they remove their specs. You remove your specs like this and say, I am so tired. I wonder why I have a team. Why have I employed these people? Happy HR month to all SME owners. Those things happen, Kyesubire, right? And you're wondering,
Yes.
why is my team here? One, you didn't identify the tasks that needed to be delegated. Two, you did not build their capacity. It is affecting the delegation. 3, maybe you're fearing to lose control. Why? You're thinking, they will steal my formula. They will steal my formula. Okay, figure out a way of doing that and them not stealing formula. And most importantly, delegation. Trust, trust, trust. Thank you. Back to you, Kyesubire. I was not giving you ideas that you should open a bakery. Don't go back there. It was just an example.
I just might. But the thing that stands out for me, and a story came to mind, the
Let
fear
me
of
wear my
losing
specs. I'm not tired. Oh, go ahead.
the fear of losing control is real. I was talking to an owner of a salon who was sharing her friend's experience, and she allowed, you know, the way when a salon is growing, you need somebody else to take appointments, then you put in a till number. So she's putting in all the checks and balances. So long-standing employee is in charge of appointments. They have a till that people pay to. So her salon is like full-time busy, but there's not much income. And so one of her long-standing clients calls her and asks her, Kwani, you changed your till number? Which means for those who understand Kiswahili, Kwani is you mean you changed your till number, or did you change your till number? And tills are what we use here in Kenya for mobile payments. So it goes directly to, doesn't go to the owner's phone, but it goes to another phone. So it's like a holding phone. And she said, no. And she's like, why did you change your number for booking appointments? She's like, I didn't. So what had happened in the system, a group of her employees had colluded, and under her roof, with all her product and her paying all the overhead, they set up a new till that was closely matched to the till number of that business. And then they got a phone number that was closely matched to that one. And their consistent thing was, she's not available. When you need to make an appointment and you can't reach her, call us on this number. That was one of them who would then reassign, and they do all the work. So she was buying all the product. She was paying the electricity and the water bills. She was paying for the Wi-Fi, but her takings were down by half. So the salon owner who I was talking to said, like, she's the one who takes appointments. She takes appointments, she schedules everybody, she has a till, there's only, so she learned off her friend. But one of the things she purposed do, she's like, I will not delegate appointments. So it doesn't matter that you get to the salon and she's not there. You text her and she will schedule you because she has the full schedule. So those are some of the things that make business owners fear delegation. Because you're like, what?
I tell you, it gives you a headache. And remember, in my previous story when I shared about my gas business,
Yeah.
I delegated and I did not build the capacity of my people. And I also delegated too much, and there are tasks that it was not their decision to make. So when it went wrong, it could not be reclaimed. I feel for that salon owner. And at times you see it is hard for you to do everything on your own, like I have talked about the bakery. You see, where this young man did a number on the gas business, I had an option to continue running it on my own, but you can imagine I have to go run and make sure the cylinders are filled, make sure the cylinders are delivered, then go and collect money from the restaurants. Then I'll remove my specs every day in the evening and say, I'm tired.
Of course you'll be tired.
So delegation is an art.
It is an art.
It is an art. It is an art.
I think this one thing this conversation clearly brings to mind is the reality that businesses are built on trust. We are building on trust. which means we must trust ourselves first and then trust our teams. And that's a big one for me because as you were speaking, I also thought about the whole conversation of authority. How many times have you worked for somebody and yes, you're told this is your role, and then you do something and they're like, who allowed you to make that decision? And it's really a catch-25 because if I'm going to delegate to you as Joe, I need to give you the authority to make a decision. And we're talking about it earlier. I've asked you to go out and collect or to make a sale, but I haven't given you the authority to authorize a discount, to authorize a mix and match package. You can only sell the things I've sent you to. So what I'm doing as a business owner, I'm limiting your capacity as my salesperson. So capacity, there was one angle of capacity you gave, which is have we trained, have we taken the process out of our head, have we taught them the processes? But the other thing of capacity that stands out is me giving you the authority, number one. But secondly is, have I shared the vision clearly enough so that we are working from the same why? Because our business why is the foundation of how we will treat people, how we connect to people, and those kind of things. So this is a really fantastic conversation. It has me thinking about how we run and realizing that we must put in additional systems into place so that our team members can be more effective than us. And I think delegation is the way for me to replicate myself. And that's a very profound thought right there for me, because I'm like, are we deliberately replicating ourselves? So what would be the one or two things that we can have our fellow business leaders think about before we come back and do another conversation about how to delegate? What are things we should be, how should working on our hearts? Because delegation is a heart matter.
Heartbreak is real. Heartbreak is real. But mending the heart is also real. But heartbreak is real.
So are you saying that I will come into business and experience heartbreak?
Remember you talked about relationships.
Yeah.
And you said it's a relationship.
Oh my. You're using my words against me?
No, you gave me the story for my parting shot. The obstacles, I take a heartbreak as an obstacle. The obstacles and challenges will always be there in business. The blind spots will always be there in business. Before you delegate, ask yourself, what is my reason for existence? Not as a human being, not as an individual. You can also ask yourself that one too. But as a business, why does my business exist? What is the why of your business? And ask yourself that question 5 times. Why? Get the answer. Why? Get the answer. Why? The answer is in the question. Now, you see, you will have firmly gotten the foundation of why your business exists. Then, these factors that we were talking about as being problems for delegation, we will figure out how to sort them out. But your why is important. That even when the heartbreak occurs, you cry, drink water, then tell yourself, this is why I'm here. When the obstacles and challenges come, this is why I'm here. Delegation will only succeed with your why. If your why is not clear enough, then your delegation will not succeed. Thank you, Kyesubire.
Delegation succeeds with a strong why. I think that is a perfect place to end, because then it means that as a business owner, my clarity, my certainty, my focus then helps me see. And the thing that comes to mind is that my goal is unattainable alone, which means I need to pass on to somebody to expand my capacity to get to the place I want to get. So as we wind this down and we prepare to do another session, so please follow us on the channel, click the notification button so that then when we put up every video, you get a notification, because we'll be delving into how to effectively delegate. Remember, it's a relationship. Every aspect of your business is a relationship. So you have to have a plan. We are not getting to the end of that one, Joy. It doesn't matter how much you laugh. You're the one who made it so clear that building a business is a relationship. And even if we're going to use our homes, there are things the wife does, there are things the husband does, there are things the children do, there are things the housekeeper, the gardener, the driver. Everybody has a role. So if we're going to have structure in our businesses, if we're going to grow for sustainable success and export, because that's expanding your business, we must be able to delegate. So this is food for thought. Take time, circle back. I know I'm going to come back and watch it again, because there are notes I need to take and things I need to implement. And we'll circle back to this conversation in the next episode, and we'll talk about how to delegate. But for now, from us at the African MSME Collective, it is au revoir, kwaheri kuonana. Here we don't say goodbye, we say see you later in the next episode. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you, Kyesubire. See you later, everyone. Take care of your relationships. Bye.
Relationship, aka your business.